Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here for an incredible event. We have the effervescent, ever lovely Blaine Keener with us today at our final PODScast of the year this year. So happy holidays to everybody. We're super stoked that you're all here. Blaine, can you see my screen?
I see the podcast and
Yep,
today, Blaine. Yep,
you
I see
got
it.
it. That's who you are. So, Blaine, let's admit everybody. Okay. So Blaine is here with us. Sorry, let me backtrack. Hi, my name is Monique Roberts. I'm the executive director of the Pods Association. We're super stoked that you guys are all here today. Um, we recently, the reason why we're here is that recently PHMSA had a data meeting in Houston, and it was like 2 days of just a lot of information, and a lot of information that was new to quite a few people, and especially our the kind of opening presentation that was done that Blaine did on all of the data that is available. To everyone, right? To everyone in the pipeline industry as well as the public, right? And so one of the things that was of note on the topic in that those couple day and a half was that this data needs to be harnessed and used for pipeline safety, but that we can also use it for a whole bunch of other things too. And so because there were so many people in the room that were not aware of some of the stuff that Blaine was showing us, we at the Pods Association asked Blaine to come on and walk through a few things on their system and what that data looks like today. Now, what's really cool about the initiative that PHMSA is putting forward here is that they want to make sure that we all know that data is key, right? Again, not just for pipeline safety, but for day-to-day operations of optimizing our in-ground assets, right? We have an aging infrastructure here in the US. And we know that data is key for operating those pipelines with quite a bit of optimization that's required. A lot of people talk about data, a lot of people talk about AI, a lot of people talk about machine learning. A lot of that stuff is not feasible, and um, it's not going to work out well unless you have good data governance, good data management, and you have access to the right data at the right time. So we're super stoked that Blaine is here with us today, that he is looking more and more like Santa Claus as time goes on. So this is our little gift from PHMSA to us for the holidays, is that Blaine's going to walk us through a lot of really cool stuff. So I'm going to quit sharing my screen, and I'm going to ask Blaine to share his. And while you're doing that, Blaine, if you don't mind, can you give just kind of a brief overview of you and your role at PHMSA?
Certainly, but I do want to say, as far as looking like Santa Claus, I spent a lot of time getting my camera at the right place so you couldn't see my belly. So I'm assuming the Santa Claus comment is the beard and the hair,
It's the
not
beard and the hair. It's
yeah,
definitely not the belly. I saw you a month ago and you're looking pretty svelte. So, I don't know. I don't think you have a Santa Claus belly at this point, right?
yeah. Well, and I think suit coats are specifically cut to avoid displaying the bulge. But
Very
anyhow, enough about
flattering.
that.
The look was flattering.
So I am the operations systems division director at PHMSA in pipeline safety, and been doing this since about 2012 or 2013, I think. And so a lot of the things I'm going to show you on the data and statistics website, it's been accumulated over a period of time. I don't know that anything was actually up on the website. I know the source data was up there, but it's been a gradual addition of, okay, well, we're going to put this up, we're going to put that up, we're going to put these other things up. So it's been built over time. I can't really say what it's going to look like a year from now, because that's part of the whole data effort that PHMSA is undergoing. How should we change the way we display the data? Should we change our performance metrics? Should we? So we're in a lot of questioning mode at this point. So I'm going to show you the way it looks now. That is no guarantee of future look. It
Yeah.
could very well end up looking different in the future.
So Blaine, just to dispel some myths, right? I mean, with all of this data is publicly available, so there's not going to be anything in here that you're going to show that's going to be any kind of an aha thing or any kind of issues with national security. And a lot of people know that or may not know that our lovely Leah Gooding, who we adore and spends a lot of time with pods, she reports up to you as well, right? You oversee the NPMS system, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So the data that people are submitting in their annual reports, that is not publicly available data, correct?
What?
So
I am
when
going
someone,
to I am going to show you public websites. I'm going to
great,
show
perfect.
you how to access every scrap of data that operators submitted in their annual reports.
There you go. So
I
there's the myth, right? Everybody's like, well, wait, Monique, you're not going to show everything, right? Yeah, Blaine's going to show you everything that is available today. So that's why this is a very popular podcast, and that's why everybody's here, Blaine. Also because you look so good in a suit.
well, no suit today, but maybe next year's data meeting.
There you go.
Our deputy administrator said his intention was to make it an annual event. So
Uh,
I'll get dressed
oh,
up again next year.
okay, that's news. That's great news for us. So there you go, Pods community. You heard it here first that that data meeting is going to be an annual event. So there you go. Awesome,
Well,
Blaine. Thank you.
the
The
plan
plan is.
is to make it an annual event. I mean, we all know how plans go. So anyhow, here I am. I'm on data and statistics overview for pipeline. The links on the left is what I'm going to run through, and I'm not going to do them in order because that would be too boring. So I'm going to start down here toward the bottom with source data. So as I promised, every scrap of data that is submitted in the annual reports from all of the different system types are here for the grabbing from our website. So as you're probably familiar, gas distribution has a lot of attributes that are different from gas transmission and liquids. In other words, service lines. You have service line data in the gas distribution. In the gas gathering and gas transmission, you've got SMICE data, you've got leak data, um, you've got excavation damage data in pretty much all of them now. It's a relatively new thing. So it's depending on your system type, you're going to find um, different little pieces of data. So this is the source data page for annuals. So we explain how to open the file, how to access the files. It's a simple zip file. I am going to do gas transmission and gathering 2010 to present. You'll notice there's several eras worth. Here you could get 1970 to 2000 data, 2001 to 2009 data. I'm going to open the 2010 to present. And it's chewing on that, and it'll be popping up here in a minute. Of course, it opens on my other screen.
Of course.
Where did it go? Oh, there it is.
While you're pulling that up too, Blaine, I want to make sure everybody knows that while we will not be covering any kind of policy questions or answers today, we do have the questions box available and or the chat as well. If you do have a question during the event, please go ahead and put that in there, or you can send that to me. And if we don't get enough time to answer all of the questions, we can follow up after the podcast as well. Sorry, Blaine, go ahead.
All right. So as promised, here is data from 2010 through 2024. If you open up the spreadsheet, which is coming your way now, you get lots and lots of sheets of data because, as you all know, the gas distribution, gas gathering, and gas transmission annual report is rather lengthy. You got a sheet for your part A to D, your F and G, your H, et cetera, et cetera. So you got a lot of different sheets here that contain data for the annual report. The thing that's important in here also is this PDF. I call this the secret decoder PDF. If you want to find out where, say, this piece of data right here is in the spreadsheet, you would copy this and find it in Excel, and this will be the column heading. So all of these, the text in red is the column heading where you will find the data that corresponds to this particular location on the report in the spreadsheet. So again, this is just one system type, and this is just 2010 to 2024. We put earlier editions of, so we got a secret decoder here that runs up through like 2014. And then there was so many changes to the report that we had to put a different secret decoder in here. We got a request years ago from some Apple users for CSVs. So yeah, you got them. The file goes on and on and on. So it's not different data. It's just as a CSV file rather than a spreadsheet. So you're going to see this same pattern of spreadsheets and secret decoder rings. You're going to see that for all of the different system types. There's the UNGs, which started around 2018, maybe. Gas distribution, hazardous liquid, our reporting regulated gas gathering, and our LNG. So that is source data for annual reports. Incidents and accidents, every scrap of data that operators submit in their incident and accident reports are available to the public through this website. Here, an operator submission, here you can get back to 1970, and it's only what the operator gave us. So it's basically just the operator's submission. In the flagged files, these come from 1986 and forward, and we put extra data in there. Like, you want to know, was an accident significant or not? In the flagged files, you're going to get a column that tells you, was it significant or not? And was it serious or not? You're going to get the total costs in 1984 dollars. You're also going to get the total costs in the current year dollars, because that's part of our website display. So basically what we put all the data into the flagged files that you would need to replicate what we have out on the website, which I'm going to show you later when I'm done with the source data. A similar, yes.
Question. So when you say significant incidents, is that defined as what was significant in 1986 or based on the definition now?
This is the definition of significant.
Okay, thank you.
So gas distribution, fire first incidents are excluded. That's basically where a nearby fire or explosion impacts the pipeline system. So we exclude those from the serious and significant incident data sets. So significant means there was a fatality or injury, 50 grand or more measured in 1984 dollars. That's why we tell you what's the 1984 value for the property damages, so that you can check our math and make sure that we did this right.
Cool.
And then HVL releases of 5 barrels or more, or other liquid releases of 50 barrels or more, and a liquid release resulting in unintentional fire explosion. We've been using this since about 2004 for significant incidents. It takes the bumps out of the trend line when we change the reporting criteria, and I'll show you that when we get to some trend lines. So here again, you got a spreadsheet, it's got all the data in it. You got a secret decoder PDF. You want to find out where something from the PDF is in the spreadsheet, open the secret decoder PDF, and that'll tell you what column heading you need to go find. That is incident data. Next up on source data is SRCRs and integrity assurance. We used to call them integrity management notifications, but with rulemakings that have come out in the last few years, They aren't all integrity management, so we changed the term to integrity assurance. And you get some information about what they are, and you get a file. Now, this one's a little different because there is no report form for safety related conditions and integrity assurance notifications. And my zip got eaten again. Oh, here it is. So there's no form to fill out. So there's no secret to code or PDF. We just give you some columns of data about each integrity assurance notification and each safety related condition report. But no secret decoder because there's no form. Then source data, we get questions occasionally, most often from API. I'm not sure why, but they care a lot about all our operators. So what we do is we pull out all our data once a month and we refresh it so that you want to see all the pipeline operator IDs that are out there. Right here's a spreadsheet with all the op IDs and the operators' names, the current edition of their names.
I promise I won't do this the whole time, Blaine, but another question. I mean, I don't promise that at all, just so we're clear, right? With the op IDs, you and I have talked about this before. I wanted to figure out who owned what op ID so that I could go figure out who wasn't a PODS member, right? And I could go get them to be a PODS member. But, is it, I know there are some companies that have, 20 op IDs. Do you have a secret decoder to figure out who's who in the zoo and who has what op ID?
Yes, but that comes later.
Okay, sorry.
It's all right. So this is just about operators. So
Okay.
the way we do business, if we get a request often enough for a particular type of data, we put it on a website. So we don't have to keep
Oh,
giving it to people in email. We just put
smart.
it up there. Now, safety program data for pipeline and LNG operators. There you are. So safety programs are like Kinder Morgan, for example, has got, I don't know, about 45 different op IDs that they use for a variety of purpose in a variety of places. The safety program data, you can get all of it here in a zip file, but it's kind of hard to work with in a zip file because some of the records are superseded, some of the records are current. It can be quite daunting to try to look at it in the zip file, but I will show you safety program search before we're done, unless Monique asks me so many questions that we run past the hour, and then you'll be sad and we won't. So that's source data for pipeline and LNG operators. Another question we get a lot from our state partners: hey, who submitted a DAMUS report, drug and alcohol? Very few people have access to that database because it's hosted by Volpe for OST, but we have access to it. So we spit out a list of all of the operators for each different year that have submitted data to DAMUS so that our state partners know who's done it and who hasn't. And then mechanical fitting failure data from gas distribution operators. This was a thing that ended. It went from 2011 through 2021, and then we stopped collecting it, but you can still get the data. So that is source data. And going back to the top, the next place I'm going to take you is National Pipeline Mapping System. Ding a ding a ding. So here's a link to the National Pipeline Mapping System. In there, you will find web mapping applications and some tabular data. And that's all I'm going to do because I definitely don't have time to go through NPMS in detail. But you can get to the public viewer. People can log into PIMA. We got different pages for different stakeholders. That is National Pipeline Mapping System. We got data visualizations. Some of them are maps. Some of them are little diagrams that help people understand what system types are. Like here's your gas storage facility and your gas gathering. Over here's your distribution, and in between's your transmission. Those nice little data visualization things. And then we have some incident heat maps that people have asked for. and we got excavation damage, and then gas transmission, liquid, etc. So again, when we get a request for something often enough, we go ahead and put it up here. And of course, there's another link to NPMS because it is the ultimate data visualization tool. Pipeline replacement updates. So this is something that started in 2011, where there was a call to action by the DOT secretary at the time. And we have separate pages for cast and wrought iron pipelines, bare steel pipelines, and old pipelines. So I'll show you the cast and wrought iron inventory real quick. Here's information about where they are and where they aren't and how they have changed over the years. And here it is in data. So again, this is all data from the gas distribution annual reports. So here's who has cast iron or ductile iron left. Here's how it's changed over the years. We can see with little blips and dips and plug it's people sorting out their records. No, I didn't think I had any, but guess what? Oh, actually, I do have some services. They seem to be harder for people to keep track of than the mains. The mains are nice and smooth down. Service lines get a little lumpy. The other thing so this is not just a gas distribution issue, the bare steel and the by decade inventory is for lots of our system types. We have the gas distribution data. You can see it by mains or services. And again, this is straight off the annual reports. We have miles by decade for gas transmission, miles by decade for liquid. We give those three system types, and then you can see a ranking of the states based on, I believe, what is 1970 and unknown, pre-1970 and unknown is what is considered maybe not the greatest pipe in the world. Still a lot of it in service, will be for a long time. But we would much rather see the world filled of post-1970 pipelines. So, and then the bare steel is similar to the by decade inventory. You've got tabs for distribution, transmission, and liquid, all coming off of the annual reports. I'm sorry, I'm checking my notes here. All right, and then back to data and statistics. And I'm getting so many of these. Monique, you're going to have to be watching for questions and
I got you, baby.
things because I'm deeply immersed.
I want to do a quick poll, and I want to ask everybody to raise your hand if you have already learned something that you did not know. Look at that. 16 people, 21 people, 25 people.
That's good because we're only about halfway there. All right. State program performance metrics. This is an interesting one. We get our data from a lot of different places. So the 6 areas of our metrics are damage prevention program, inspection activity, blah, 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 all these 3 things. And here we go. Once you get there, you got to say what state you want. You all are in Texas. Well, let me give you one with, let me do 2 programs. That'd be California. So California state program metrics, damage prevention program. This is natural gas distribution excavation damages per 1,000 tickets, straight up annual report data. All that data comes from the annual reports. We just put the California stuff up here. Inspection activities. This comes from data that our state partners give us. They tell us how many inspection days they spent. And we say, okay, well, how many 1,000 miles of gas pipeline was that? And how many inspection days per 1,000 miles? We do a similar thing for master meter operator and LPG, liquefied petroleum gas units, which is our gas distribution things that our state partners also do for us. And then here you can see liquids is not the California PUC. Liquids is California Fire, Cal Fire. I'm not sure what their official nickname is, but the Office of State Fire Marshal
It's
does the
Cal Fire.
liquids. Okay. Inspector qualification. So here we actually use data from our training and qualification division. So this shows what percentage of the staff for this one's for Cal Fire that are core trained, how many have had additional training, and what 5-year retention is. And this explains what each of those is. Here's the California PUC's percentages. Leak management, so gas distribution system leaks. Again, this is straight up 100% gas distribution annual report data. We just give you the California data here on this page. And then enforcement and inspection and incident investigation. These are rankings that our state program division or scores that our state program division generates when they go and visit our state partners. And you can see there's a hefty lag here. The most recent ones we have are from 2023 because there's a bit of a lag between the end of the year, then they get evaluated, blah, 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 blah. So that's our state program performance metrics. So then let's talk about national pipeline performance metrics. Lots and lots of stuff in here. We started a project, finished a project in 2017, worked with the Pipeline Safety Trust API and AOPL at the time. I guess we should probably change this to LIPA. And came up with these serious incidents. If you were at the meeting, you heard a lot about IPE, accidents impacting people or the environment. So here comes that trend line. This is for crude and refined petroleum biofuel. We don't have any performance measures up here for HVLs. We don't have any performance measures up here for CO2. What we did get to was measures for crude oil, refined products, and biofuels. And you can see them here. This is just this is accidents per mile. This is barrels spilled per billion barrel miles transported. If you want to see the reports, you can click here and you will see the report details, which are over here. If you click here, you will see individual operators and as safety program like Monique mentioned a while ago. If you click there, you'll see, so Chevron, however many operators are part of the Chevron thing, here's their data. Energy Transfer, that's a recent, they've had a recent explosion, a recent increase in op IDs that are Energy Transfer. They've been buying up a bunch of stuff. So here's all the Energy Transfer performance. So that's pretty common for both the crude, refined, and biofuel measures where you can see the actual incidents if it's based on an incident. And then you can see the performance for operators and for safety programs. Same thing, gas pipeline performance measures. We finished a little sooner with them back in 2015. We worked on the performance measures for gas distribution and gas transmission. And those are all up in the air again now too, subject to reevaluation. What are we really gonna call our performance measures? But much the same onshore. Let's look at the gas transmission. Onshore, significant incidents per 1,000 miles. Here they are. It bounces around like a pogo stick. And then you have lines, how many of them were with evacuation and with public property damage. The thing we do love is seeing that go way down in 2024. So even though the number of incidents jumped back up a little, we're keeping them away from people and we're keeping them off the public's property.
Good job, everybody.
Yeah, but again, same thing, report details, individual operator view, or safety and integrity management safety program view, and then cause data. So here's 3 different ways to look at the cause data for those gas transmission onshore significant incidents.
So Blaine, let me pause you real quick. First off, I want to do a poll of the audience. who here sees a good application for all or some of this data to use in their risk analysis, to use in, you know, jump into your Power BI, right? Create some dashboards, overlay, anything here to, like, is anybody, raise your hand if you're working with AI or machine learning and you could use this data to help boost and get you more data into your data lakes. Looks like we got a few people. Oh yeah, there we go. Yep, 5, 10. Yep, 11. So this is great. So this is cool, Blaine. I wanted to ask that so that you can see. I know, you probably don't get that very often and realizing firsthand, exactly how helpful this is for you. I know you talk to a lot of people, but I think it's cool to see that they're going to use this to help boost their own operations and perform safer. So we have another question. Does PHMSA report on the individual state enforcement actions taken by the operator? I know they do PHMSAs, but not clear on how to get the state enforcement data.
The state enforcement data is pretty much with the state. We
Okay.
get some numbers. If you go to the stakeholder communications webpage, you can find like counts. How many probable violations did Connecticut Department of the Environment, blah blah? How many did they find? Not how many enforcement actions, not what was the code site, none of that. You would have to go directly to the states, and I don't think many of them have it out on their webpage either.
Okay.
All right, so back to so we're still on national pipeline performance measures. So here is a good one. This is just when did we start? Telling you a little about each system type. And this page is a good a place to slow down a little and talk about PDM reports. You've seen a bunch already, but this one has a whole lot of prompts. You can see a variety of years. You can see who is it regulated by. These are all the different state partners and regions. Is it federal or state regulated? What state is it in? And you can limit system types that you're seeing. This starts out with just, here's the gas 2024 and liquid 2024. They're both the most recent national data. Of course, if you pick a state or you pick any of these other prompts, they'll show up here above the reports. Numbers in the reports will magically change. Anytime you see a calendar year that has a link, that means that if you click it, you will get data about that year. So here's 2024, and now here are all the operators that have submitted the gas distribution annual reports for 2024. And there's several, like 1,300 of them. Every PDM report, in addition to having the information about, what prompts you applied to it, it has an export. Formatted in Excel tends to behave the best for me. You can do it as a PDF or a PowerPoint or a web archive. Most of the time we do Excel. If you do export data in these, you be careful. If you do export data, you're not necessarily going to see the columns in the same order. You may get more data. Like if you had applied some prompts, if I said, I just want to see one state, but then I export the data, I might get all the states anyhow. So when you're exporting from PDM reports, formatted Excel is what I found to be the most consistent. If you use something else, it's buyer beware. And so then we'll see that throughout this report. People wanted to, what's the miles by material? We get tired of answering the question, so we just put it out here. What's the miles by commodity for gas distribution? Same thing. Gas gathering. So we got our types, type A, B, C, onshore, and offshore miles. Those are the different flavors of gas gathering. Again, calendar years, links to all the operators that make up those numbers. And then here's our gas transmission by commodity. As you can see, we're overwhelmingly natural gas. But there are smidgens of other gas. And then hazardous liquid pipelines, we do, again, the links, inter and intra. What's the total miles? What subset of that is gathering? How many breakout tanks are there? How many operators? And then liquid, there's often interest by commodity, so you get the same thing by different commodities. LNG, plants, tanks, operator counts, inter, intra, links. There's a pattern. Underground natural gas storage facilities, reservoirs, how many total wells, and then inter, intra. Then our newcomers, the hazardous liquid gravity and reporting regulated, which started in 2020, I believe, or maybe that's just when this page, make sure and change to run it back to 2016. But now everything else got much longer. Hazardous liquid gravity did indeed start in 2020. So again, how many reporting regulated miles and how many gravity miles are there? Not much gravity out there, that's for sure, whole 46. And then most recent in 2022, we started with our reporting regulated gas gathering. And again, the link, inter, intra. So that's pipeline miles and facilities, emphasizing the drills and the blue links that lead to the drills, as well as prompts. And again, it's important that you'll see, if you prompted anything, you'll see it here. Back to national pipeline performance measures. Pipeline incidents 20-year trends. So let's look at all reported incidents. So for all reported, you can see all those system types I talked about: reporting regulated gas gathering, gravity, and reporting regulated. And then all the bread and butter ones that aren't just reporting, but the whole ball of wax where you got compliance things you got to do. For hazardous liquid, I always sort of run out. Yeah, so in 2024, there was a big change in the reporting requirements, and that's no longer on the 20-year trend anymore. So for each of the 20-year trends, you see the trend line for the incidents. You see fatalities, you see injuries, and you see the total cost as it's as reported in this case, and barrels spilled and net barrels lost. That's for liquid. If you want to see blue links, remember blue links, show me all of them in 2024. I click on the blue link. Then I get to see what were the causes. We finally gotten to the point where our 20-year trends have the 8 causes. It used to be when you came here, you would find material failure of pipe or weld and equipment combined. That's because we were going back 20 years and our data didn't allow us to separate them. Hooray, now in 2005, we can. So you'll find all these reports for serious, for significant, for all reported. Material failure of pipe or weld is distinct from the equipment failure now. I've been waiting years for this. I'm so excited. Can't you tell? Anyhow, and then and then another link here, 2024. Show me some details about each one of them. So there you go. Just like you asked, I wanted to see some details. The PDF link shows you every scrap of data that came in for the report in the format of the PDF of the incident report. So here it is in all its glory. Part A. Part A is long, part B, part C, etc. So that what I showed you for all reported, same thing for serious. You can pick your system type, you can pick a state, you can pick your cause. Excuse me. And when you're done, you can go here and see cause data. And then you can go here and see details about. So that is the 20-year trends. Excavation damage is next on the list. For excavation damage, and again, 2024 was the first year for some of this information by system type.
Blaine, what are y'all using to organize all of this on the back end? Like all your tables and everything, is it Power BI?
No, it's Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition. OBIE. Yeah, hold on. I think I might have a link problem.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, so, okay, no, excavation damage. Okay, so excavation damage has 3 tabs: incidents, leaks, and damages. The first one here, this is just context. You've seen this before on the miles by facilities. So this is just for context, and then more context. Here's all the causes of pipeline incidents. And here's pipeline incidents caused by excavation damage. So again, these pages are all focused on excavation damage. We got multi-bar for system type here. And then we got a bunch of data about each one of those incidents, including what was the excavator group, the excavator type, and the root cause of the excavation damage incident. Yeah, and here this will show you all the rows, and you got your export link. 2010 plus, we're able to provide this excavator type data for every incident, so we do that here. And then 2010 forward, we can do the root cause, and we do that here. So those are incidents. For leaks, we've had gas distribution, excavation damage leak data for many years. So this goes back all the way to 2010. And here again, the blue links, you can go and you can see the individual operators who make up these numbers. So that's leaks. And then damages is where we've got some new data. And it's been rather unexciting for me. Here's our calendar year 2024. So for gas distribution, we have 2.48 damages per 1,000 tickets. For gas transmission, gas gathering, and hazardous liquid, their rates are all plopped down here pretty much on the axis.
So, but we want you to be bored, right, Blaine?
I guess it's good. If they were higher than gas distribution, I would be very concerned. So
yeah,
the fact that they're plopped down on the x-axis is pretty much a good thing.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I mean, you're not, I mean, I don't think anybody would ever call you excitable as a person. So, it's fine if you're bored, right? That's your happy place, right?
It's never mind. So yeah, gas distribution, and now so we have 26 root cause categories. So if you want to see the number of excavation damages, okay, so let's pick notification issues. Used to be it was just one number, but now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, we got 5 different root causes that make up that whole notification issue. So this particular page lets you can poke at it one at a time. Just remember, if you get bored with that, you can get all of the data from the source data, because this is on the annual reports, both for distribution, for transmission, for gathering, and for hazardous liquid. Where are my notes?
How we do? Because we got about 14 minutes left, Blaine. So I just want to give you a heads up on time.
All right. And then after excavation, then we have integrity management performance measure. These are things that come right off of the annual reports. And we throw in some incident report data also. So part F and G of the annual report has data about conditions found, miles assessed. Like I said, we have some large spills in HCA data where we generate some numbers, some multi-year trends, HCA repairs by year. That's a lot of weird looking graphs. Miles inspected, and then here's the assessment summary. How many miles were done by commodity, and then here's your different methods: hazardous liquid ILI, hazardous liquid pressure test, corrosion ECDA, other assessment methods. So you get the same thing for gas transmission. For gas distribution, it's the same philosophy, but the measures are much different. And then in the last couple of years, we started doing performance measures outside of high consequence areas. So liquid pipelines are sometimes required to be assessed when they're outside of HCAs. So we take you here to pages about the 2019 rulemaking, and then here's hazardous liquid outside of HCAs. And it's a similar thing, except it's not in HCA or could affect, it's outside of assessments, hazards found, repairs, so whether immediate hazard and non-immediate. And that's your data on performance measures outside high consequence areas. We give you some gas gathering performance thrown in there too, essentially leaks for the different types. And then there's some obscure statute in some other agencies' books that says we have to tell them about incidents and leaks on federal land. So we do that right here. Don't even remember who it is, but when they say, "Hey, why aren't you telling us?" We are telling you. It's right here on our website. Come and get it.
I love the transparency, Blaine. You guys are doing a great job.
All right, and then that brings us to
the exciting part.
No, I think I already did these parts. So I did those things. Safety program data. So I promised you I would spend some more time on the safety program data, so I shall.
Yay.
Our safety program data, there's up to 8 different types. So we get 8 pieces of data about your safety programs for gas distribution. Integrity management, actually we get 7 for gas distribution because Oil Pollution Act Facility Response Plan is not for gas distribution. This table lays it out for you by system type. I already told you about this. It's there. But let's do a safety program. So let's go with, shall we say, TransCanada.
You mean TC Energy?
Safety program, not what we call them is TransCanada. So the safety program name is what we as PHMSA can name it.
Oh.
This is not selected by the operator. This is selected by us.
Oh.
So you could do it by safety program name, or you could do it by the op IDs who are submitting, or the primary op ID that has been submitted.
Cool.
So here's what we call TransCanada. You can see, if you click here, you'll get to it. The primary op ID that all of these submitting op IDs are picking is 405. You don't have any information about system type yet, but after you click on TransCanada, you will. So here in TransCanada, there are the safety program is TransCanada. The primary op ID is all 405. You can see a count. There's 1 gas gathering operator. There are 14 for OME. There are 10 for CRM, transmission. For LNG, you see your counts. When you scroll down, you see who they are. So 22 2616 Columbia Gas Transmission. They have gas gathering. They are part of TransCanada. And then gas transmission, here's all your different ones. LNG, here you go. Underground natural gas storage, here you go. So oh, that's right, it's South Bow now. So South Bow's off doing their own thing. They're not part of TransCanada anymore. There is no liquid. TransCanada, as this is, as we're calling it here, is just a gas thing now.
Which I was super excited about because I got a new PODS member whenever that happened. What?
So safety program overview. Here's the performance measures. So we saw these before: gas transmission, significant incident rate. So these little speedometers show you that TransCanada is ranked 100 out of 132 for the 10-year average of onshore significant incidents. For the 5-year average, they're ranked 107 out of 132. Here's their onshore significance incidents in HCAs. So their 10-year average, they were horrible, 113 out of 132. 5-year average, well, they're doing swimmingly. They have righted the ship in the last 5 years, et cetera, et cetera. There's both gas transmission and the hazardous, they're the IPE for crude, refined, and biofuel on this page. Here on infrastructure, guess what? It's infrastructure. So instead of just seeing the operator, that's part of the safety program, you see the state, you see some details about their miles for gas transmission. And go ahead, somebody say, Blaine, where's the gas gathering? Well, it's integrity management. Since gas gathering is meaningless, or since integrity management is meaningless for gas gathering, you get nothing. But if you say, oh, drug and alcohol, then guess what? You're going to see the gas gathering miles. So you got to be careful which SBR type you're looking for. The default is going to be integrity management. And then incident reports, the same deal. Instead of just seeing the op IDs, you see how many. Gas gathering is pretty unexciting. Here we go. How many by year, by cause, and then details about them in the PDF.
All right.
So when you're going looking,
2-minute warning.
When you're going looking for new operators, the best thing is you want to hear is search submitting op ID. And that will tell you, like if you pick 993 and apply, it'll tell you that it's 993. It has some things that are NiSource. And some things that are TransCanada. So real quick, federal enforcement transparency, so many links, you can hardly stand it. Raw data, there it is. Not mine, didn't make it, don't like it much, but there you go. Federal enforcement then the other thing is operator information. So all the stuff I've been showing you, you can see by year, et cetera, et cetera. Here you can come, you can punch in your op ID, and you can see all that stuff just for the operator. Here's their infrastructure. Here's their annual reports. Links to PDFs for their annual reports. Here's their safety program relationship data, their incident data. Enforcement data, guess what? Got to go to the enforcement transparency website. You want to see activities that we've done for them? They're here on activities, SRCRs, notifications, and all these other things. And I'm done.
Oh my goodness. This is a lot of stuff. I'm cross-eyed with all of this information, Blaine. This is really, really awesome. We appreciate you doing this. And I know there's probably a lot more information as well. I know you guys are working hard at your transparency and more, right? So I'm going to welcome everybody to keep your questions or note those down, and I'm going to do a follow-up so that you can ask those questions and get some more information from Blaine as well. We're super excited that PHMSA is a member of PODS and that we have such a great community to work with, and we're glad that you're all here. Here's a few of our upcoming events that we have coming up. Our next PODScast is going to be a member refresh, and we're going to launch our new learning management system, which this, as well as all of other content, is going to be on our learning management system with the new availability of a POD certification. And then, so please sign up for that. And then here's the rest of our upcoming in-person events that we have going on. Here's Blaine's email address over on the right. If y'all have any questions, sorry, Blaine, to do this to you, but or you can send those questions to me and I'll compile them and get them over to Blaine. So, Blaine, one final question before we get going, and I appreciate that everybody at PHMSA is working hard to focus on the digital twin and data. With you seeing all of this data over all of the years, can we rest easy in knowing that we as an industry are getting better at this?
Better at what?
Better at pipeline safety.
That gets to performance measures. How do you want to measure pipeline safety? So right now we don't have a clear way to say this is how we measure pipeline safety. Because do you want to talk about distribution? Do you want to talk about gathering? Do you want to talk about transmission? Do you want to talk about LNG? It's a hard thing. So I'm not going to give you any answer because what do you mean by that?
Right.
I don't know.
That's a good point. And that's probably why you guys have so much varying data, right? Because every operator is different and every action is different. And so we're super glad that you guys have made all of this data available to all of us for everyone's risk analysis and leak detection. So any final words for us before we sign off?
Oh, from me?
Yeah.
Happy holidays. And Monique said I had to smile, so I'm smiling.
Good job. Good job. Blaine, thank you again so very much. We really appreciate your time and effort in hanging out with us, and we hope to see more of you in the future. And happy holidays to you as well. Everybody, raise your hand if you learned something new on this podcast. And while y'all are doing that, we hope everybody, look at that. It lit up. The board lit up. So we hope everybody had a very happy holiday. If you are located in Houston, we are having a pod staff and member little holiday get together on the 19th. So give me a buzz if you want a ticket to that. We're going to have a great time. So again, thank you, Blaine. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Great year at pods this year, guys. We'll see y'all next year. Thanks.